Welcome to Unhinged Addiction. I am your host, Eric. I go by the Mr. Impulsive or Eric B. Zink, depending on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it might be. Typically, it's the Mr. Impulsive. And this is episode 11. It's been about a month since I've actually did a podcast. I'm excited to do this. This is on how the transition from weed to benzos to fentanyl. And this is how a lot of that transition actually usually happens. It's actually common. And the more that I've researched, I found that there's a lot of weed addicts that start off just smoking weed. Next thing you know, they move to benzos, and then next thing you know, they even can move to fentanyl. And I get to share with Lexo underscore 316. I have him tagged down below. This is an awesome dude. He's huge on TikTok, almost 300,000 followers. I followed him for a while. I really loved how he educated and he shared. Very knowledgeable when it came to a very factual education style of sharing, which is my same style of sharing when it comes to social media. And so I reached out to him. It turned out that this dude has followed me when he was getting high. Like, it's amazing how many people I've talked to that have gotten high to my videos, but they've gotten sober. And so it's super inspirational. I was like fanboying over getting to talk to him, just to find out that he like found a lot of help in my stuff. So it's amazing how this community just kind of goes around in a circle, and you run into people that maybe you've made a difference in their life and you didn't even realize it, but yet they're still making a difference in yours. So I'm excited to be able to share this podcast with you and be able to share this conversation I had with him. And if you haven't yet, download Sunflower Sober. It's on iOS and Google Play. It is a phenomenal app, gives you 24-hour support. It's a game changer if you're struggling with addiction. That's Sunflower Sober, or go to sunflowersober.com. And if you are struggling with addiction, you want to go to a rehab, check out Refine Recovery in Beverly Hills. They are amazing. I'll be out there again in May. I love working with these guys and what they're about, and it is a rehab that's actually for addicts, by addicts, to help you get sober. And that's what it is, man. And so I am excited to share today with you with Lexo. And just, man, we had a good conversation on this, so let me just get right to it. Glad to catch up with you, man.
Oh yeah, bro. I've been watching your shit since I was in active addiction. Literally. Like getting high as hell, doing dope, watching your shit. I swear to God. And like you say my shit, dude, bro, you post every day. Like, God, like how do you even you've been doing it for years.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that, because so I've had people who would get in my lives and stuff and be like, "Oh, I'm getting high to this and all this." I'd be like, "There ain't no fucking way, no one's doing that shit."
For
And
a fact.
I have met probably in person or through like Zoom or whatever now at least 10 people who have told me that, where they're like, "Dude, I was getting high to your shit." I'm like, "What?"
Yes. Yes, I swear to God. Like it's crazy how it is, like, but for a fact, since way back then, like I told you, since the CG Kid interview, like way back then. Like that's crazy how life works. I never thought I'd even be in this position. Like, God
No,
is
it's dude, that just it inspires me. I really get inspired watching other people get sober, because for me, like I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it, but like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just knew I was ruining my life, and it sucked. I had years. I had like two years and 3 years of sobriety. Even in 2020, that interview with CG Kid, I
Mhm.
was sober, but I hated my fucking life. Like I hated my life. Like I was an angry person. I'm like, why is everyone telling me that they're a year sober and they're having a great life? And I'm like, fuck all y'all, dude, because
Right.
this is
For
my life.
Yeah, for real. Like it took me a while to even get, accustomed to it. Cause at first, I remember when I first came from rehab, my sister was like, "Yo, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." She like, "Shit, every time I look at you, you look like you trying to, like you want to kill somebody." I'm like, "Nah, I'm fine." You feel me? But I guess on the inside, it was just so, I don't know what that is, but it's hard to get used to sobriety. Like.
Oh, it is. How long were you using for?
Shit, like 10 years.
Okay. What was your drug of choice?
Xanax, first weed, then Xanax, then perks, then Fetty.
Damn, dude, you just did the cycle.
All of it. And Coke too. But like Coke was more for fun. It wasn't
Hmm.
like I needed. It was
Right.
Stans and the Fetty. I was always a downer person. Like I was one of them people that the downers gave me energy. Like, you know? As soon as
Hmm.
I get that in me, I'm off to the races.
Yeah, and it's weird. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I noticed a lot of people where if they're really like addicted to weed and it really became something for them, as soon as they try a Xanax or Ativan or something, it was on all of a sudden because it was just like, oh, this is what I've been smoking for, and I get it in a pill. You know what I mean?
Yes. And this is way stronger and way cheaper, like, you know? So as soon as I popped that in, I'm like, "Oh my God, what? Like, this is beautiful," like, you know, like, so it was over. It was a wrap. It long took me so long to get clean. Relapse after relapse, I get 5 days here, 7 days here, 10 days here, and that's why, like, when people write on my page and they'd be like, "Shit, 4 days clean," I'll be like, "Damn, like, that shit is the worst part." And then people will come back like, "Yo, how you doing now?" No response. I'll be like, "Damn, I've been there before." You
Oh
know?
yeah.
It's so hard to get out that first week, you know?
It is, and it's like we get shamed so much. Like I started going live even like every day. I try to go live for like an hour because the worst part is people that shame themselves. Because I used to do it. You get sober for like that 4 days or that 5 days, and it
Yeah,
is hard, man. And you're sweating and you want to rip your skin off, and then you relapse and you've already told people like 15 times that you got sober, you know, and you've
right,
relapsed, and there's so much shame with it. You're just like, fuck it, dude, and you just go on one,
right.
and it's like shame driven, and it's like, dude, okay, you made it 5 days. How do we make it 7 days, dude? You didn't die.
Yeah. For real. For real, like, and then, what do you think is the hardest part? Like, for me, I feel like it's that first obviously the first week, but, like, I would say, like, after that first 3 to 6 months, because you have no idea, you just there, you know, like, that pink cloud is kinda gone, and you just like, "Alright, what do I do now?" Like, you know, like
I had dude, you're the first person that's brought this up.
yeah,
I've had it very similar. Like, so mine was like like day 5 was when it started really kicking my ass. So I went cold turkey from alcohol and cocaine, and no one told me like about DTs. So
yeah,
I'm sitting there shaking, I'm throwing up, I'm seeing shit. Like I was just, it was horrid, man. I'm grateful that I didn't get into seizures. I'm grateful I didn't die from it. But man, like 5 days into it, like I was so motivated, like I can do this. I gotta get sober. And then it just went to shit because I'm like, that momentum and that excitement, of course, is gone. And I've always been there, and that's usually where I would relapse. And then like, I don't know, about 8 months in, I couldn't get happy. And I was just getting more and more depressed. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? All these people are telling me how happy they are. Their life is changing. My life's not changing. I hate my fucking life.
right,
And then a year and a month into my sobriety, I attempted suicide because I just wanted to die. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't get happy.
yeah,
So I feel you on like that 6 months where it's wrong, man.
right. And it's crazy because I had a friend that just OD'd, like, not even 2 weeks ago, like, a week and some change ago, and it's crazy because you had a video saying how one of the number 1 signs of suicide is people giving away all their stuff,
Hmm.
and, like, a couple days before he OD'd, I found out after he OD'd that he was giving away all his stuff he collected, his jackets, his coats, shoes, like, and I know him, he collects this stuff, like, this is stuff you work hard for, and he was just giving
Right.
it away, and then they found him in the bed, you know? I'm like,
Hmm.
"Damn," and he's somebody I don't think ever OD'd, so it's like,
Right. And that's the scary part is I think like the suicide numbers are really off, and they'll do, you know, it's accidental suicides or whatever. And I don't think it's accident. Like seriously,
yeah,
if I really wanted to end it, I know how low my tolerance is. I know how easy it is to get fentanyl. I know how I'm gonna go to sleep, dude. I'm done. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
And it's sad.
right.
But what's
So when
the
I s
I'm always curious on this. So I had started a podcast, and I called it Unhinged Addiction just because everyone always said I talked really unhinged about some shit. So I'm always curious, and I know sometimes people can't share because there's felony. Like it's so weird
yeah,
talking to somebody. Let's talk about the felonies and shit and all the laws that we broke.
right,
What's the
right.
most unhinged thing you ever did that you could talk about in your addiction when you're an active addict?
Like, something, like,
Just
unhinged,
fucking crazy. Where you're just like, are you like you look back at this and you're like, I don't know how I lived through it. That was insanity. That was fucking stupid.
oh, man, Imma tell this story time eventually, but I kicked my neighbor's door with a gun off 2 Xans. because they stole my gun the same day. Shit, crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. So I had got a AR-15 in my name,
Uh-huh.
and I'm posting this joint everywhere because it's legal. But I'm
Uh-huh.
full blown Xan addict. So I'm
Uh-huh.
riding around with it, I'm posting it, I'm bringing it everywhere with me. I just feel like, like Hercules at this point.
Uh-huh.
I lived in a real bad neighborhood, like real bad neighborhood. I don't know what I was doing there, living there. So I'm with this girl. I put my gun up. I leave. I come back. I see my gun is gone, right? And this is like an apartment building. I'm downstairs, they upstairs. My gun is gone. I'm furious. And the girl I'm with, she was like, I ain't gonna say his name. I'm gonna call him Rob. She like, you think Rob took it? Do you think Rob took it? And I'm looking at her like, yo, I don't even trust nothing. Like, I don't even want you around me right now.
Right.
So you feel me? So long story short, I don't even sleep. I'm just lost. You feel me? Like I can't
Uh-huh.
take this loss because I never really got robbed before. You feel me? Like,
Right.
so I can't take this kind of loss that somebody came in my house where my daughter is and stole my gun. And if they
Mm-hmm.
stole a gun, 9 times out of 10, they probably had a gun. So my daughter being here, so I can't, you feel me? So long story
Uh-huh.
short, I just sit there and I just sit there. Morning comes, I go to my neighbors, I'm looking at all the cameras. I can't really tell, but right before I came back home, I see it's these people on the camera and they walking with the people upstairs and they kind of limping. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that's emergency alert. Kidnapped child, goddamn. Yeah.
Damn.
Word. So I see them walking and it's the people upstairs. I'm like, that's him right there, right? So I pop a bar, sit down, think about it, pop another one. Call my boy D. I'm like, yo, bro, we about to kick the next door neighbor's crib upstairs. We about to kick their door. He like, bro, what? I'm like, we're about to kick their door today, and I need you to come with me. He like, bro, hell no. So he doesn't do it. Call my boy Black. I'm like, yo, Black. Black is retarded. He like, oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I go get Black. I got my little hammer. I have him come with me. We go upstairs. I'm trying to kick the shit. The shit is not going for nothing. So he
Right.
he wiggle a little doorknob and the joint fly open. So now I ain't gonna lie. I got this gun in my hand. My highness kind of leaves because I'm like, okay, now I'm here. What the fuck am I doing? We already
Right.
here. You feel me? So we walking in. We see it's like curtains. You feel me? Like
Uh-huh.
not doors for the rooms, but curtains for all the rooms.
Right.
Going around, open the curtain, nobody in there. Sneaking around again. Open the curtain, there's nobody in there. Long story short, there's nobody in this house. Thank the Lord. So I didn't know what else to do. So we just took the TVs off the wall and you feel me and just left. You feel me? Just
Uh-huh.
let them know we was in there. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
But that's the most retardedest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, because what if they were home? I'm
Oh
all
yeah.
zen with a gun, home invasion. What the
Uh-huh.
heck am I doing? You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
you feel me? And I had to live with them. They lived upstairs. They know I did this. So I literally,
Uh-huh.
me and my mans used to take turns sleeping. You sleep, then I sleep. Cause it's war. You feel me? Like,
Right.
so yeah, that was, oh my God.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, like that's what Zans make you do. Zans and anger. Like,
Oh, dude. I get that because like I would get anger fueled. Like I if anger like I was just I don't know if I was just like an angry person. I think I was because I had a lot of trauma and shit I held on to. And so I
yeah,
just did like everything I did was out of anger.
right.
And you kind of get blinded and dude, when you get clarity to some of this shit we do, we're like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yo, and then I think like, damn, it's people in jail for things just like this. Like
Oh yeah.
for Zan, like Zan rages and they don't remember it. Like,
Hmm.
can you imagine waking up, 25 years? You like for what? And you're watching yourself on camera do some shit you didn't even know you did. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, so yeah.
That's what I don't think some people realize is like Xanax and some of these stuff. Like you like black out and you have that like I would black out because this was fucked up. I would do alcohol, I would drink and then I would do a bunch of blow, but then I would also take Viagra or I'd take Cialis because I like to just fuck. Well,
Yeah.
I'd black out and you don't remember anything. And like I would wake up and I'd be like, how did I get home? My car's parked where it should be parked. Like I don't know how what the but people don't realize the same thing happens with like Xanax and stuff like that. And some people get energy from this shit. Just like with
Yeah.
like perks and with hydrocodones and shit. You get like mad energy and you're like some people they're fucking asleep and they're just fucking drooling on themselves and some people are just fucking amped.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if that's like the way your brain is wired, but I was definitely one of them people that it just gives you energy, like, but like bad energy, like not the right energy, like, you
Yeah.
know? But
No,
yeah, I don't know. Thank God. Thank God. I feel like God was with me a lot because they say God protects children and fools. So I feel like I was a fool. So maybe God had a little bit more leniency with me, like, so because the things I do is like, bro, why would you ever, what the hell? Like, what possessed you to ever, like, do you think drugs are demonic?
oh yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
I'm asking, do you do?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like I'm not, and that's the thing is like I'm not like a big churchgoer or any of that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a huge person that like believes like in heaven and hell per se, but pure evil is drugs to me. Like
Yes.
like it is a nightmare, man. You become somebody who you look at and you're like, who the fuck are you? It's like being possessed.
Right.
Like I definitely do.
What do you think is the most evil drug?
Your drug of choice, because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and the only reason I say like because I've met people like even with you like with fentanyl, did you smoke it or were
Yep.
you okay? Like it was so weird. I couldn't smoke shit. Like I didn't want to. I'd smoke cigarettes,
Mm.
but if I could snort it, it didn't matter if it was crystal meth. It didn't matter if it was coke. I knew cut coke. I grew up, so I'm 44, and when I grew up and I was a teen, like the only way I ever heard about like heroin and stuff was like IVing it. Well, I had a fear of needles. So there ain't no way I'm gonna fucking touch a needle. And no one told me that I could snort it. I grew up in fucking Michigan. And I kind of grew up in like the farming down, I wasn't by Detroit or anything like that or Grand Rapids. And so I didn't know about snorting it or anything like that until I was like older and I already loved Coke. So when I meet people that I couldn't smoke it, but then I meet some people that, dude, that's the way that you do it. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Because I didn't know about that you could smoke it either until it's crazy. Peer pressure is wild. My boy PJ, he's a full blown addict, and he gave me all the ropes. This is how you buy it. This is how you smoke it. This is what you use to smoke it. Where you could smoke it. Like he even used to try to get me to shoot it, but
Huh?
you feel me? I never gave in, thank God. Like he always, yo, bro, you save so much money, bro. You save much, bro. It's healthier, it's cleaner, it's a better feeling. Thank God I never, like they always told me whoever offers you the needle is not a friend.
Yeah. No,
You
and there's a lot of truth, and there's so many dirty needles and shit out there, and just I mean that shit blows my mind when how people convince because they always tell you about peer pressure, and you're like it's like oh if your friends jumped off the bridge, would you jump off of it? And you're like no, and dude, peer pressure is not that, dude. Peer pressure is like sitting at a house and you just kind of want to fit in, or you're already a little drunk and people are like, dude, try this, dude. This is going to take you to that next level, and you're like, all right. I mean, that's peer pressure.
Right. And sometimes people make it look good. Like a lot of people don't know that not all drug addicts are the people who ripped up holes in their shirts and, living on the street. Some people make drugs. Look at all the rappers. They make
Oh
it
yeah.
look so sweet, like they make it look so raw. So anybody that you look up to or are influenced by, as soon as you see them doing it, shit, if they do it and they're doing good, shit, I could do it too.
Oh yeah, they have control over it. That was my problem with cocaine because it was like I looked at just all the movies and stuff and all the actors and no one really got too much trouble for having cocaine and it can't be really that bad, dude. Everybody's kind of doing it, until I started doing it and I'm like, why am I fucking obsessed with this? And it seems like nobody else is.
Right.
And you're like, fuck. And next thing you know, it just kind of takes your soul from you and you're like, now I'm living for a substance.
It's like how, and it happens so fast. Like, how did I get here? Like in
Yeah.
full blown addict mode. Like how? Like
Hmm.
it's crazy. Like Do you feel like addiction is a mental illness?
I do. I The thing that helped me probably the most in my addiction was like because I got sober and stuff. I went raw dogging it, and that sucked. And I finally kind of got through it. And the only thing that I didn't get sober to get sober, actually. Like I got sober because I was gonna get sober for like 6 months, and I was gonna relapse again. I lost my job. I was going.
Not to cut you off, say that one more time, I didn't fully understand. You said you got sober to get sober for 6 months?
Yeah, so I got sober. My plan wasn't to get sober. I
Okay.
didn't want to get sober.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I got sober 7/25/17 is when I put it all down.
Mhm.
And I was my plan was I'm gonna get sober for like 6 months.
Oh,
And
like a detox.
yeah, I'm gonna just detox out of it and I'm gonna get a good job again. I'll put my my marriage back together. I'll put everything back together and then I'll just relapse and I'll be the victim. Shit, dude, you don't get how hard life is. I had to use. But my dad died and he killed himself like 3 weeks into my sobriety. And when he committed suicide, like I was talking to him about my sobriety and stuff like that, and I just kind of like latched on to everything I had before he killed himself, and it happened to be my sobriety. I just kind of like latched onto it, and so I got sober, but it wasn't until like 5 years into my sobriety that like I was still angry. I still was struggling a lot. Still a lot of like I wasn't using, but all the shit that we did when we used, I was still doing. I was still self sabotaging all that. I went to a trauma therapist and realized I had a lot of fucking trauma. So once I started addressing a lot of that, it all went away. And I wasn't angry anymore. Like I wasn't who I was.
You said a trauma therapist? I never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's specialized in trauma. And so like it's called a vesical response. There's certain things that we can talk about where, you're like your throat tightens up and your face gets red. You can feel like tears coming. You're just like, oh, that's a trauma. That's a full on body trauma response to something that's not healed. That's
Jeez.
your body actually going back through it. So when you start losing these different responses, the trauma is always going to be there. The shit that we did is always there, but it doesn't affect us anymore that way. And like that's a lot of why I would just start getting really down on myself. And then all of a sudden I would just be like, fuck, and I've been through this and now I'm like living with this thought haunting my brain and I gotta get it to go away. And so I'm gonna have a beer, dude. I need and boom, beer just to on.
And it's crazy because I work with this dude and he was a full-blown alcoholic. He got like 5 years clean. And he was talking about, yeah, like if he gets rich, like, he could see drinking and doing coke. He could see it being done appropriately on like a yacht or something after he's rich. I looked at him so dumb, like, bruh, I was the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. You're gonna wait until you get rich to ruin your life. What the fuck? Like, the hell? But that's the way people think. Like, it's crazy. Like, you're literally an alcoholic, and you're telling me you're gonna wait till you get rich to drink and do coke. People are
Dude, people are just they're sick and it's funny because how much were you afraid to get sober? Did you think you were gonna like miss out on life?
I thought I was going to pass away just from the withdrawal. That was like the scariest part for me because these opiates, that shit is rough, in the sense like so like that part. And yes, I definitely thought that I was gonna lose my identity because like that was part of me. Like I was a dude that walk in, pocket full of Zans. When I come through, it's turn. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
It's not gonna pop up. So I felt like, damn, what do I do now? All my friends get high, all my friends sell drugs, all my friends do this and that. So now to not get high or to sell drugs, like what am I now? Like who the fuck, And it took me a
Uh-huh.
long time to tap in with like, I guess the inner me, what I was supposed to be like, like that child me. Because when I was a kid, I wasn't a bad kid. Like this all
Uh-huh.
came using. I wasn't the kid that was fighting all the time. I wasn't the kid that was getting in trouble and getting
Mhm.
expelled and beating up people and robbing. I never got into that. It was only when I started to use. So when all of that, when I wasn't getting high anymore, it's like, damn, I can't relate to a lot of things that I thought I could relate to. Like I kind of created this, you know,
Right.
and that's why sometimes. I do have to give other people more leeway than me because this is a lot of people's they were born into this, like, fully. I kinda created this. Like, my family, yes, there are a lot of alcoholics in my family, but a lot of people grew up with their mom prostituting in front of them and shooting up needles, in and out of homeless shelters, like, like, a lot of
Hmm.
people had it real fucked up, and I have to think about that before I, like, "Damn, they're never gonna get clean." Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, me getting here, it's not that you get full of yourself, it's just like, "Damn, bro." You look at people like, "Man, they ain't gonna get clean." I hope I pray on the inside that they do, but sometimes you know the difference because you've been there before. You know the difference between, "Yo, I'm dead ass serious, I'm getting clean," and, when people hit you up like, "Yo, what can I do to get clean?" And you tell them, "Shit, you could go to rehab." "Nah, I don't wanna do that." Anything else, it's like, "Bruh, you're doomed." Like, you feel me? Like,
Hmm.
I've been there. So, like, long story short, I feel like I didn't have it as bad as I thought I did. I kinda created it for myself, you know? So when the drugs left, I realized, like, okay, get back into the good person you were. Like, you used to take pride in being good and returning things and not stealing and being nice and being respectful and polite. Like, the fuck you at hospitals and rehabs cursing out ladies and shit, you wildin', bro. This is not you. Like, so it took me a while to get that back. When I got that back, I had to dig, you feel me? And then finally, you know, it's a path, it's all a journey.
Dude, I feel that on such a different level, and not even to like piggyback off of what you said, but just like my experience with that. Like, yeah, we judge. We as addicts, when we're sober, we judge, and
Facts.
I think it's okay because I think we still, in our own way, almost still kind of judge ourselves a little bit. And I've
Facts.
become cool with that, and I do. I judge myself sometimes, but I do judge others where I'm like, you don't want to get sober. You kind of want to get sober. And I've pissed a lot of people off because they're like, well, if you want to get sober, what do you do? Well, don't be a bitch. Don't be a little bitch, because I was the worst. I was the worst at it. I would look in the mirror and it'd be poor me, and I was kind of like you, dude. Like the problem that I always found with that is like that that fucked me up because I would look at like my friends or people I knew that had it so much worse than me. So I would take what my childhood was, because I had technically a really good childhood. My dad was a really successful doctor. I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I don't know what it's like to need a meal. I don't know what it's like to starve. It doesn't mean that I didn't still get fucked up as a kid, though, by my parents. You know what I mean? But I would justify, well, my life wasn't that bad. So I would just take all my childhood shit and just push it aside and not address it. And man, when I started addressing it, I realized that, dude, we are all fucked up. And that's where, like, I think I gained a lot more compassion for, the people that had it worse than me or the same or whatever. But just like you, dude, you look at some of these people and you're just like, dude, you ain't gonna get sober. You ain't there, bro. Like, you just kind of want it. Like, it's an idea. And like, people are so afraid of like losing their identity or losing who they are. And I'm like, who I was using, the identity I lost using was somebody who would lock himself into a Motel 6 with a fucking 8 ball, fucking 2 5ths of fucking tequila, be snorting rails, hitting up fucking hookers, fucking hitting up the plug on a 3-day fucking bender, sobbing. Like, that was fun. That was fun.
It's crazy. I was in rehab and the counselor was like, "Yo, do you guys really want to be like that? You're up all night, 2 days straight, doing drugs, living fast, doing this and that." Me and my mans looked at each other like, "Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I love that shit." He like, "Yo, I love it too." I'm like, "Damn, we gotta stop. We gotta stop thinking like that." Like, like the hell, because it can be very thrilling. But what I tell people, that other end of it, what goes up must come down. And are you ready for that?
Right. And the sad part is like that thrill was only in the beginning, like really when you didn't have that huge tolerance. And it was new. And like 3 years down the road, like it's gone. It's just who you
Literally.
are now.
And you don't have anything to do with it. Like before, when you start, you already had a lot of activities. You were doing whatever it was. You were going out. "Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna sniff coke while I go out." Now you don't do nothing but sniff coke and just sit here. There's nothing to do. Like you've already abandoned everything else that you like, but this. This is your life. Like, like
Yeah.
It's
The
like,
what got you what finally got you sober? How'd you get sober, dude? Because fentanyl I know is fucking brutal, dude. I've the
I
closest I can
accept
relate to is kratom. I did withdraw off of red kratom. I did an experiment with it, which was the dumbest thing ever, for
it.
30 days, and I realized that it fucking stopped. So how'd you get clean, dude?
Um, I tried it a million times in the house, but the last time I ended up going to rehab, and that's the only time I ever been to rehab. And I'm gonna have 2 years on 4/11. So, but rehab finally, like, cause I never been to rehab. I always heard about it, but I don't know why. I felt like rehab was like a science place where you go in there and they do tests on you and you just, like I had no idea what a rehab was. But when I got there, like, all right, this is cool. Like, this is all right. You're in here with mad people that's just like you. Honestly, I've never had such a good time in my life. Like, I don't think I've ever had a good time like that ever. Like, no phone, no nothing. It's just clear, like just clear thinking.
Dude, I am so glad you just mentioned this. I'm so glad you just fucking mentioned this. No phone.
Yeah, like,
How was that? Because I think that is what separates a real rehab from a fake fucking rehab.
yeah, I heard that some rehabs that you can have a phone. I remember my man's he went to rehab and he's calling me every day, like multiple times. I'm like, bro, what the hell? The rehab I went to is no phone, no nothing. You get one 10-minute phone call a week. Literally, like, so out of the 45 days I was there, I probably had 4 phone calls for 10 minutes. That's it. They said they want you to focus on your recovery. So that I feel like was amazing because it forces you to just talk and just, that's the only fun you have is people that's in front of you. We playing the what's it called? I think cornhole. The
Yep.
team guys, we playing cornhole all day. Horseshoes, we throwing a football, just regular shit. So
Yeah.
that was different. I feel like that helped me a lot in my recovery. Like even sometimes now, like I'll just lay down and just think about rehab. Like, damn, that shit was fun as hell. Like, like that was one of the best times ever. Like,
It
and
re-
especially, but
Dude, it really is. And like that's the thing. Like if I ever had to do it again, I would do rehab. Like I wish I would have because of the detox and shit I even went through. But it was like I had that mentality of like, oh, it's like a doctor's office and I'm gonna be stuck in like a hospital bed. Like it was such misconception.
yeah, yes, yes,
And and then when I started really working with rehabs, I'm like, holy shit, this is actually pretty cool. Like, they're nice houses. You learn stuff like breath work and different things, but then you also have some camaraderie and around. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I would have did anything for a 30 fucking day break. 30 day, just make this world go away for 30 days and let me work on myself. Fuck.
yes, nothing else matters. My daughter was good. Everything was good. I literally just had to sit in here and focus on my recovery. That was it. Like, that was amazing. And it's crazy how you said, remember I asked you what's the worst drug? You said your drug of choice. Like
Uh-huh.
cigarettes never bothered me because the whole time I was in rehab, I was smoking 2 packs a day. And the last cigarette I had on the way out, and I just threw it there and I never smoked another one. They never bothered me. But I see cigarettes as like a major, major thing for people. Like that's the hardest thing for people to quit. Like, for real. Like,
Dude, it was mine.
well,
It was
see,
mine.
yeah, like,
Yes.
yeah, like,
So it's this weird mentality. So like I always smoked. I smoked since I was like 15. And I
mm,
would smoke at like there's some days I would smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And it's not like I would smoke it all the way down, but like I would be working, so a couple
yeah,
puffs and throw one out, but you just keep burning through them. When I got sober, everyone like at AA and NA and stuff was like, "Oh, don't worry about quitting smoking. Let's work on the drugs and the alcohol and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So it kind of gave me permission to keep smoking. And I got sober from all that, and my whole mentality was like, "Well, this probably will kill me eventually, but it's not killing me right now. It's not costing me. I'm not stealing from people to smoke any of this shit." So I just kind of justified how normal it was and just going to the gas station and getting it. And finally, what actually got me off of them is I was single. I was going through a divorce, and I realized if I didn't smoke, I could get more dates. So I went to the pouches, just the nicotine pouches. They're the Zens and shit. And dude, it took me, I ended up tapering off of those and it took me forever to taper. I didn't get off of nicotine until February 16th of last year. I finally am nicotine free, but fuck, dude, that was a brutal one.
Rough. Like I watch people, and sometimes I try not to judge, but naturally, sometimes you do. When
Oh,
people
yeah.
ask me like, um, uh, I can't stop smoking these cigarettes, or it'll be high school kids like, bro, this weed got me fucked up. What do I do? You know, at first, like, bro, that's nothing. But then you realize, nah, that's something to people. Like at one point, it was something to me. Like, you know, like it was
Hmm.
to me. Like some people, kratom, bro, this kratom got me in a chokehold, and I cannot stop. What do I do? You know, like it's like, okay, damn, I gotta treat every addiction like an addiction and not like a joke. You know?
Oh yeah, no, even like the Benadryl or the Afrin nose spray. Like a
Yeah,
lot of this shit, it's just funny because like I'm the same kind of way. You know, people bring it up. I'm like, oh dude, like on a scale of addiction, that ain't shit, bro. But then I'm
yeah,
like, well, if that's the only thing you've ever been addicted to, that's like the end of the world right now for you. Like I get it.
documented.
Um, and it's hard to kind of back it down once you've hit like a certain part of life. You're like, dude.
Right. Word. Like so you never did know. Well, I guess with alcohol, it's no maintenance medication. Besides, what's that shot?
Um, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a shot you can do for the maintenance on it. If
It's
you go,
suffocate. Damn. Oh my God.
yes, where you're supposed to get sick or whatever, even if you
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
Um, Never did that. I've never had an urge to drink again, but like, and I didn't do because usually they'll do like Valium or something if you're going into DTS and they'll taper you off the Valiums. Um, Same what they do with like the benzos and stuff, but. No, I've there's no maintenance or anything for me. I
Oh,
mean,
oh, Vivitrol, my bad. I just had to find it. Vivitrol.
there you go.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
did you do a MAP program with the fentanyl?
I did. I did a Sublocade shot.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
still do it or
Sublocade.
no?
Nah, I just did one.
Oh, okay. Oh, rad,
Like,
dude.
yeah. So thank God. Yeah. But then sometimes, see, that's why, okay, with you, when you give people recovery advice, do you
Hmm.
stick to like a book or do you like do it in your own way?
I tell people to find their own way and do it their
Okay.
own way. You know, whether it is Suboxone or because, and some people don't get me wrong, dude. Some people tell me horror stories of Suboxone. I get it. I have friends that are on Suboxone, but
So,
I'd rather
or
see them on Suboxone than perks, if that makes sense.
yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
but also the withdrawals on it's a fucking bitch. I've seen people try to map program it with like kratom, and that's always I've never seen anyone successfully really do that switch. I do believe in pain management though, and so when it comes to it, it's like I don't want people to be set up for failure because that's kind of what I did. I would self sabotage, and so like I'd go to AA and stuff, and I would do what they told me in this fucking book, and when it didn't work out for me, this program failed me. So obviously I'm different and it's not going to work for me because it's worked for all these other people, but it's not working for me. So there's something wrong with me and I go use again.
Right.
Um, and so, when it came to getting sober, I just tell people just to find what works for them. Some people it is AA and NA, and some people it's rehab, and some people it's all of the above. Some people find God, some people don't.
Right.
I'm super open minded when it comes to that.
Just like with me, it's sometimes somebody asks me a really good question, and then it's like, damn, sometimes I'll be hesitant to answer because I don't want to give people the wrong advice because I could tell them what I did. But like I don't want it to, like I don't want you to I don't want to tell you take one Sublocade shot, don't go back for it, and then you relapse and then pass away and then it's my fault, like so it's like a rough kind of, it's like damn, I don't want to
That's
leave people.
Yeah, no, and that's where I tell people it's whatever works for them. Like I've met people who've done the methadone and shit even, and they've gotten clean from it, and I'm like, dude, that shit's pretty fucking whacked. But all
Yeah,
right, like cool.
right,
Same when it comes to like Cali sober, and people ask all the time, what about Cali sober, smoking, za and stuff. I'm like, for me, it whacked my anxiety. I'm not a fan of it, dude. But if it works for you and you have PTSD and you haven't gotten that treated and you have really bad anxiety, you don't want to take a benzo or medication, whatever, dude. If it prevents you from ODing on a needle underneath an overpass, cool.
right, right. And I'm learning to be more open-minded because I used to these dudes I used to work with, we used to have this argument all the time. Like, nah, if you smoking weed, you're not sober. How are you staying sober? And I always say, what do you smoke weed to do? To get high. So how are you sober? You getting high? But then I had to think like, nah, you're right, because some people is really shooting up and all kind of stuff. So, and technically it is legal and can be medical. So, so
Right.
I had to open my mind up, like,
And that's the thing. Like this is an argument that's funny that I get into a lot with people
mm,
because, and I've done a lot of research on it. I've talked with a lot of doctors and a lot of work with rehabs, but I take Adderall.
mm,
I take 10 milligrams of Adderall between like 7:30 a.m. and 8, and then I take another 10 milligrams between 12:30 and 1, and then I
mm,
don't take it on the weekends. I was diagnosed ADD at 13, re-diagnosed ADHD at 17, so this is back in the 90s. And my problem was is if I didn't take my Adderall, I found other ways to calm my brain down because I can sit on the couch all of a sudden and not do shit, and I feel fucking helpless because I can start a project in my head and I just physically can't fucking do it. And then I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, it's obviously me. There's something fucking wrong. Like, taking a shower is a fucking bitch sometimes just to take a goddamn shower. um,
yeah,
so it was one of the, people are like, oh, you're not sober because of that. And I'm like, okay, well, the difference is, even if people want to say, well, it's harm reduction, fine. I'll even settle with that because the bottom
yeah,
line is I'm not doing Coke. It doesn't do the same thing to me that Coke does. Half the time I have to set alarms to remind myself to take it. Like I took it a little early this morning. This is how bad it is for me remembering even to take it. I had to take it earlier than normal because of our Zoom here. Otherwise,
mm,
if I get off of this and go, I'll forget. And halfway through the day, I'm going to be like, why can I not get shit done? And then I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to take my meds.
yeah. Nah, I feel you because I don't know, like with me, Adderall never helped. But like if the doctor's prescribing it to you, I feel like sober is one of them things that's hard to put in a box. It's
Yeah,
like it's always a sober police, like just same thing with like food. Like me, I never call myself vegan, but I don't eat meat and I don't eat cheese and all of that. But like if the ingredient contains like milk powder, I ain't gonna pay attention. I eat it anyway.
right.
But here come the vegan police. You can't eat that. So it's like, who the hell is you? So
Hmm.
sober is whatever it's a broad, you know,
It
whatever.
is, and I think you're so right because I was also kind of the same way when I felt really guilty at first when I was getting sober and stuff because I'm like, fuck, I still take this meds, but if I don't take it, I go fucking insane. Fuck, what do I do? And I'd get with my doctors and I find a lot of therapists who knew nothing about fucking addiction, which was ridiculous. But then I'd find ones that did, and they're like, well, here's how it works in your brain differently than like what cocaine does. That's why, like with crystal meth, like I would do meth and it'd be cut and shit, and I'd get pissed off and I'd go home and I'd go to sleep. I could sleep on meth,
Damn.
and oh yeah, and
Oh,
because it mirrored a lot of what like Adderall did. And Adderall for me
you
will put
can't
me to sleep.
get sleep off Adderall.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. There's no more like my thoughts aren't all over the place. Like the easiest way I can talk and talk about like my ADHD. I can have 10 conversations going on in my head. And I gotta do this. And man, when I'm done with this, and oh wait, I gotta focus on, that's my
Yeah.
brain. When I take Adderall, this all goes away and I'm just like, cool. And now I can like, dude, I'm kind of tired. Like I could go lay down right now and go take a nap, and I'll sleep fucking like a baby.
Crazy. See, everybody is different.
Mhm.
Like the way my Adderall experience was, I never found a balance. Like I don't think I ever found a balance in anything. But like I take one and say I was editing a video. I'll take
Mhm.
one and I feel like, okay, damn, I feel like if I take more, I can edit this video better. Take more, and I just get to the point where I'm just so stuck that I can't do anything. And that'll happen every single time. Like,
Mhm.
never felt like it did what it was supposed to do.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I feel that because it's amazing with some people how it doesn't, and that's why I always tell people like I'm cautious when it comes to like ADHD meds. I'm like, find a doctor that specializes in ADHD because like a lot of doctors out there, they're like just a medical doctor or whatever, and they're like, oh here, well, oh you sounds like you have ADHD. Here, take this. Okay, and now you feel like a zombie or you're super hyper focused. And I've met people where they're like, man, I'm on like 60 milligrams of Vyvanse, and I'm like, fuck, dude, that's a lot. Like I'm lucky if I get like 10 milligrams of Adderall in a day. Like, what?
Right, right? It's this dude that I met that it's this clinic I used to go to get my subs. This is years ago.
Okay.
And it was the doctor actually committed suicide because I guess the DEA was on him, and the doctor prescribed this dude 90 milligrams of Adderall every day and 7 milligrams of Xanax every single day. And he was sober in his brain, but I can't tell him he's not sober. But it's like, damn, bro, that's a lot. Seven, that's like 3.5 bars every day.
Yeah. And the worst part is once a doctor tells you this stuff, you're like, oh, okay. It's good. I'm good. It's okay. You have permission. The doctor told me. The doctor prescribes it. And I'm just like, oh, fuck no, dude.
So the only thing about Coke for me is I couldn't do Coke without Xans. Like I wouldn't do it at all. So like how did you come down off the Coke?
I would usually black out. So I would maybe take one day off a week of Coke just
Yeah.
because my nose would get so bad. So I always carried around like a tissue and I would wet this tissue down. I'd be constantly blowing out my sinuses. I snorted more water than I did anything else. Like it was insane how much water I would snort.
In there.
Um, and so I would get drunk. I'd start doing lines and stuff. And I would usually do at least an 8 ball a day. And by about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, usually I'm blacked out. And sometimes I would wake up and I don't know how much sleep I got. And my alarms were always set because I was a very functioning addict. My alarms, I was very routine. And that's kind of like the autism because I do have a level 1 autism. I found out I was super routine. And when I blacked out, I went to a routine. It was like a robot. And even my ex-wife would be like, dude, I'd end up in bed pretty much every night. I'd find my way into bed. Now she'd have videos of me like crawling naked on the ground that I have no idea or remembrance of and mumbling to myself and trying to crawl into bed. But
So
I would drink myself into just a stupor. And I would usually drink at least a half a fifth before I'd go to bed. And that would get me to the point that I would just
okay,
mentally be gone.
okay. So the alcohol would bring it down. So it's like, okay. Ah,
Mhm.
yeah, I
So I
never
use
go ahead.
I use alcohol a lot like you would use Xanax with it.
Okay. Because alcohol, I don't know, something, I don't know if it didn't agree with me. It didn't, I always had bad experiences with alcohol. Like I never cared about it. I'd be a full-blown everything else addict with a whole cabinet full of liquor and never touched it, never even looked at it, never cared about it. Like, but everything else, I think honestly the worst though was some Zans. Like them shits had me in a choke hold. Like, oh my goodness. Like I think that's the most demonic drug there is. Like whoever created this, why? Why would you make this? Like the side effects, this the risk and reward don't add up to me. Like damn.
Mhm.
Like so you said you grew up in where?
Michigan.
Michigan? That's
Hmm.
that's far from here or like from Buffalo?
From Buffalo, it's not super far. I don't know, probably it'd be about a 7 hour drive, 8 hour drive.
What's the closest like big city to there?
Lansing, Michigan, and then after Lansing, it would be probably Detroit.
Okay, I've been to Lansing before. Was it drug infested out there?
Um, it was more like I grew up in a kind of a farming community. Weed, I mean, it was Mexican brickweed, dude. That's what we smoked when
Okay,
I was
fair.
smoking. Um, and every now and then you would, believe it or not, like psychedelics were huge, like microdots and acid, MDMA, DMT, like all that was like super common. crystal was kind of non-existent at the time. Cocaine would kind of come through every now and then, and that was really about it. Like, and you never heard of heroin or any of that shit. Um, and so it wasn't super bad. And it's funny that you said like Xanax was like the just the devil for you because like so my dad was a doctor and I always looked at medication different because of how I grew up. Like meds are supposed to help me,
Right.
and that's why I don't think I could ever get like I would take the only pill that I ever took that kind of scared me was hydrocodone. Because for some reason with hydrocodone, like Percocets didn't do much for me. Like it felt like a warm hug and shit, and even Oxy, and I'd just be like cool and I'd be calmed down. But for whatever reason, man, hydrocodone gave me fucking energy, and I was just like, oh hell yes, my body don't hurt. I feel like fucking Superman.
You know, hydro is something different. It's crazy how you bring up psychedelics because a lot of people tell me how like psychedelics are like so positive and like how they're like healing and soothing to the brain. How do you feel about psychedelics?
I think that they can become addictive. I think it all is. I think that it becomes addictive because you're like, well, if this makes me feel good, what is this going to make me feel? What is this going to make me feel? If something really feels that great to you, I mean, I know people that have fried their fucking brains on psychedelics, and I'm like, there's nothing out there that's like, why do you want to escape life?
Right, right. And I feel like personally, it's false. Like these certain things that you think, like you could be watching TV off
Mhm.
mushrooms. I can see that Oprah's the devil. I've seen it in my trip. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth. Like it's just your brain, you're high, and people try to translate this high into reality. And man, when I was high, I seen this. Well, that doesn't necessarily, I used to do it. So,
Mhm.
when I got sober, I'm like, damn, all of them acid trips didn't do nothing for me. I thought I was opening up my brain so wide and like, in my third eye, bruh, what you're high. What the fuck? Like, you
Yeah,
know?
and that was the thing even with me, like acid just I didn't really like acid because I didn't like drugs that brought me down. Like I like stimulants. That's what was my thing. And so, I would just sit there and be staring at like I used to trip in high school. That's when I did all my psychedelics. I'd be in class fucking tripping balls, dude. Two hits of acid deep and I'd be staring at my desk and the squiggles would be turning into shit. And I would just be staring at it. And I'm like, cool, but this isn't really my thing. Like I don't, it's not giving me energy, you know. That's why I think I like really like alcohol, even because alcohol gave me energy at least for a little bit in the beginning. It's like fuck yeah, we're gonna get fucked up. You're all amped up, and then it would just get to the point that I'd look back and be like, what the fuck did I just do?
Uh, or, but
Uh,
yeah,
it's and
psychedelic.
it, yeah, dude. It's funny that you feel that same way with psychedelics because it's amazing how many people out there try to be like pro using something, and I don't know if they do it to make themselves feel better or what. Because like even when it comes to like TikTok or social medias, I have to like block a lot of stuff and really be calm about it. Like I hate seeing people sell fake shit. Like I see a lot of people like with the methylfolate stuff, and so it's what it is. It's B vitamins. It's bioavailable form of B9, which is it's for your stomach, brain, whatever, um, and it absorbs into your system quicker. And I've had people that they'll show up on my fucking page and they're talking about how they're heroin addicts and they got sober, but this has been like the next best thing. And so if you're getting sober, try it. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, what? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, no.
it's
Um,
man.
but then I
When
also
I
see
learned,
like kava. What do you have you seen anything on kava?
I've heard the name before, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so don't search it on TikTok because it'll change your algorithm around. Kava is a plant from Southeast, I think it's Asia, and it's not like it's in a sense like kratom, I guess you could almost say, but it has psychoactive properties to it. So it doesn't bond to any receptors like kratom does, but like you drink it, and for about an hour, it can make you calm and relaxed, and just a very very light psychedelic. And so people are like selling it off as like, hey, it's a safe alternative to alcohol and all of this. And I always think to myself, like, dude, if you're gonna drink something that alters your brain, even
Right.
in just a really mild form, you don't want to be sober. You're still trying to alter reality. So you'll just use this as an excuse to start drinking this. To, hey, I could probably handle a beer. To, hey, I could probably handle a line. To just going back onto a full blown relapse.
Right. No, it's true. Like all of them, like this person had sent me this thing. I don't know if they have it where you're at, but it's like it's sold as CBD, and it's some type of like K2 liquid that they sell in gas stations, and these kids is getting fried off it. Like I'm like, damn, never heard of that.
So the K2 liquid, look into so what you look for in these things. So this shit's scary, dude. I can find it in gas stations even where I live. I can find kratom in the gas station too. But it's called tenaneptine and it's called gas station heroin.
Yeah,
And you can find them in little like shooter things. The shooter things, there's one that's called like Zaza, but they're sold as like an anti-anxiety, whatever, calm you down, give you some energy, maybe shots, or you can find it even like in a pill powder form. And the shit bonds to your opiate receptors. And dude, when you see these kind of addicts, it's crazy, dude. Because I'm used to addicts. Like I know what it's like, and you know what it's like, dude. You're at a fucking dealer's house or you're at a trap house, and you just see these people come in, and they're just their eyes are sunken in, and they're not the users that are out necessarily jacking people for money. They're the ones out holding the sign begging for money type deal.
yes.
They're that user that's just it's a shell of a fucking human. And man, you start seeing these people coming into the gas station buying this shit, and you're just like, the fuck? Because it's that addictive.
And it's legal, right?
It's legal because it's not governed by anything. It's sold off as a supplement. Like all that shit you find in gas stations, none of that shit's regulated.
That's crazy. Like what the hell? And you got kids using this shit. Like,
Uh-huh. And that's and dude, if you can't get blues or M30s, you know, whatever, and you can't find any of that shit, you get that, and that's gonna help you with those withdrawals a little bit. Now you're just hooked to that.
I'm not gonna lie, them blues, it's the worst thing I ever seen happen to America. Oh my God. I watched the whole era happen in front of my eyes. I watched these young kids. I'm talking about these is basketball playing young players turn into real life drug addicts at a young age. Like it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I watched my whole neighborhood just, and this is not even no crazy bad neighborhood, but I watched the whole neighborhood get strung out. High schoolers, like, oh my God, OD after OD after OD. Like these kids started off as, like just regular kids. Before you know it, they sniffing them and they full blown junkies. Like that's the worst epidemic I've ever seen is these blues. People is dropping left and right off of these, like, oh my God, like, man. And now people are getting life for selling them.
Uh-huh.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, you sell a $20 pill and get a life sentence.
Oh yeah.
God, bro. Oh my God. Eh,
And, and I think the biggest problem is not even giving out that life sentence. It's like nobody was educated on them. And you know, I have friends. I have a friend of mine that I've known since early 2000s, and his kid died and OD'd on blues. And his kid wasn't a bad kid, you know, not a fucking drugged out, strung out kid, you know, just someone gave him a pill and it's a cool thing to do and take one of these, it's going to make you feel better type deal. Peer pressure that you're not taught about,
right,
you know, and everyone's popping them in their bedrooms and you haven't heard about your kid move around for an hour, so you go check on them and they're fucking dead because they OD'd fucking 45 minutes ago. And it's like, fuck, man, like I never understood like, but I get it of like, how could you take a pill that you don't know what it is? And then I think back and I'm like, well, fuck, when I was an addict, I would, but
right,
as a non-addict, especially even now, I'd be like, well, what the fuck's in that? What is that? Is that let me see the fucking prescription bottle. I'll be fucking googling this shit.
right. And I feel like I remember the Kodak Black song. It was the biggest song in the country. He said, I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it because I'm a gremlin. I'm like, damn, how are they playing this on the radio? You know how much people is dying from fake perks? Like golly, like I don't know. I feel like sometimes, of course, I like to look at things positive, but it's like, damn, America is doomed. So I'm like, damn, what the hell? Like, because at first fentanyl wasn't here.
Hmm.
Imagine, and you see what fentanyl did. Imagine what's next. That's scary. Like, what could be worse than fentanyl? But man, it's always new, more, like,
Yeah, and it's always evolving. I remember when I stopped using in 2017, and at that time, even in Orange County and stuff, like fentanyl was found now in heroin. White China heroin now is essentially pretty much fentanyl. Um, and so, but that was it. It wasn't like cut into everything else. And like fake pills, like you buy fake pills and it'd be like crushed up Tylenol and other bullshit put into a pill and pill pressed. It wouldn't do shit for you, you know what I mean? But you think you got fucking perks or some shit. And then man, when fentanyl hit, it just all of a sudden just got into everything. And you're right, dude. Like, what's next? What's after this? Because something is.
right? Like, is it gonna be fentanyl, alcohol? Like, what the hell? Like, you never know. Like, it's scary. Like,
It,
damn.
it,
Oh,
yeah, and it's all synthetic stuff, so it's just powerful as fuck. Like I don't. Do you do live streams and shit like that?
never
No.
did one. Yeah, yeah, I want
Um,
to though.
if you ever want to do a live stream with me, we'll do one, dude, and I'll ask you every single fucking question that pops up on my thing because I do them for about an hour a day. And one of the big drugs that people hit me up, and it's in Europe, it's not in the States yet, and I'm waiting for it to hit the States. Is 3 CMC and 3 MMC. And they're pure synthetic. It's a lot like cocaine, looks like cocaine, but it's kind of like taking coke and MDMA. And it's not like ecstasy. It's not like ecstasy because it's stronger than ecstasy is, and it's not cut with as much shit as ecstasy is. And but it's also not like crystal meth where it hits both of those two. It's this whacked out drug, and everybody I talk to, dude, is like, dude, it's fucking insane, like to try and get off of it. But it doesn't kill you like fentanyl does. Like fentanyl just kills you.
It'll kill you.
you
Like,
know and but it's like what drives when you were taking fentanyl you knew how dangerous it probably was. There's a part of you that knew, but you
for a
don't
fact,
care.
I don't care, and that's what I have to realize when I talk to people now. Because I always want to tell them, bro, this shit could kill you. But when I was using it, I didn't care if the shit killed me or not. So it's like to talk to somebody who's in that mindset is kind of hard to break through. Like sometimes you just gotta pray.
Yeah, no, and that's where I've had to really learn healthy boundaries with helping people, because that shit will rot our brain. And I've
Literally,
seen it happen a lot. I've seen it happen to my good friend CG Kid. That's why he doesn't do addiction anymore.
right?
You get so many people asking for help and stuff, but how many of them really want help?
Right.
Like my boundaries are unbelievably difficult to get a hold of me now. I don't answer any DMs. If you want to email me, you can email me through my website. If you want to talk to me, you can pay me $40 and I'll give you a 30-minute mentoring session. I'll help you. I'll give you resources. I will help you and give you my soul for 30 minutes to get you the help that you need. But that's it. And I do live streams to help people as best I can, just at least give you some resources and stuff. But it's like, it's amazing how many people out there like they want to get sober, they don't want to get sober, and it's draining on their soul, dude. As we as somebody who's sober, it's like you kind of take it personal a little bit, and you're like, oh, you feels good at first because you're like, dude, I'm helping people,
Right.
but it doesn't fucking stop, dude. And it's like
Never
it just
stop.
keeps taking.
Yeah, like even my friends right now, like 9 out of the 10 of them get high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some is a lot worse than others. The ones that mildly get high, don't, it is what it is. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
addicts, like full blown. But then like my close friends that like get high and like talk to me every day and like seeing all of this, I'm thinking we both just like this because they're telling me, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, da, 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 I'm gonna get clean just like you. And I coach them through it. Yeah, bro, all you gotta do is this. Bro, you stop for 5 days, you'll be good. They'll call me every week, yo, bro. I'm 5 days clean. I'm 6 days clean. Next week, same thing. I'm 5 days clean. And I just ignored it. Like, okay, it's not my problem. But then it really started to like eat on my soul when I'm watching their kids have to like go through it and to really watch them get strung out. Like I got a friend right now that he sniff, but like he's not like everybody else. He has his house, wife, kids, dog, full-time parent. So I never judged him. But lately, like he been getting so high that he'd just get high and take off all his clothes and get to bugging the fuck out with his kids in the house, all kind of shit. And I tell him about him, so like, yo, bro, you're wilding. Nah, it's not that bad. I'm good. I'm like, bro, you gotta go to rehab. Nah, bro, it's not even that serious. Like, I'm good. Like, I will one day. To the point where it's like, yo, bro, I kind of don't even really want to talk to you that much no more. And this is my man's like, but it's like, bro, I don't want to be involved in this because I know what happens next. I told you my man's just overdosed and died. I don't want to keep being close to people that because this shit
Yeah.
hurts. I'm tired of going to funerals, like, and it's like, yo, bro, and I'm not knock on wood, I'm not ever wishing that on nobody. But it's just like, bro, this shit is serious and it's for real. I don't know. As a recovering addict, I don't know if I can be around you all the time. Cause how am I gonna
Uh, oh no, go ahead. No.
You know what I'm saying? How am I gonna look in like, for example, I go over to this house, we'd chill, and he'd be like, yo, ride with me. And he'll still, do his little, and I'd be like, yo, bro, I cannot come with you doing this. Bro, it's not even that big of a deal. You strong, bro. That shit ain't gonna bother you. I'm a human just like you. Nah, bro, you strong. What you 2 years clean? This shit don't bother you. Come on, ride with me. And at first I just try to ride and ignore it. But then I see the people that's walking up to the cars and I see the pain and defeat in their face. Like, "Yo, bro, I can't do this. Like, I don't want to be around this at all. Like, and I feel like they kind of not respecting that. So I kind of just withdrew myself.
And I don't blame you, dude, because I've set those boundaries with people too. So I don't mind if you drink. My alcoholic and my alcoholism is mine and mine only. Like I don't expect people to bow to that.
Yeah,
It's my responsibility to put myself in a situation that I can either handle, and if I can't handle, I need to leave. That's my responsibility, nobody else's. And so I look at both of my addictions very differently. So I look at alcohol that way because I get it. There's a lot of people that can use, even like yourself. You could probably go out, even though you don't really like alcohol, but you could have like an IPA beer or whatever, and be like, "Oh, this is kind of fucking gross." Whatever. We're at a bar, hanging
right,
out, shooting pool, cool. But you're me. I can't do that. I'll have one, and then it's fucking on.
right,
And so, I've really been good. Like I go to bars and stuff all the time. My wife even will drink wine or have a beer or a cocktail or whatever, and it doesn't bother me. Um, if people smoke green shit, it doesn't bother me. Was never something that I struggle with. But I can tell you this, dude. If anyone ever broke out fucking coke, I'm done. You're out. You're done. You're not part of my life. Fuck you.
right.
Like
I feel you.
I think that is really disrespectful because I'll tell people right up front, like, dude, this was the fucking devil for me. This was the shit that fucked me up. I don't need
Right,
it around me. This is my boundaries. You didn't respect me, and I told you up front. Fuck you.
right. And I do not blame you. Like, I do not blame you. No, you're a human being. People look at you like, nah, he's invincible. This shit don't bother him. It's like, nah, bro. Like you said, if people drink around me, smoke, they could even do drugs, whatever. Like I wouldn't like for them to do it, but bro, I'm not about to ride with you while you sell drugs. You feel me? Like, the hell,
Right.
I done got away with too much of my life for me to put myself into some type of, dangerous
Uh-huh.
scenarios, like, but it's just, I ain't gonna lie, something about kids, bro, to like watch them have to go through it. It's like, damn, bro, these are innocent kids. And bro, I don't like seeing that. And I can't be a hypocrite because I've done it, but I also know that I wasn't gonna listen to nobody. So I'm pretty much talking to a wall,
Yep.
so how much words can I waste?
And there's nothing worse than watching like so the one that fucked me up the most. I had a friend. He worked for me. He was a salesman of mine,
Mhm.
and I was actually actively using at the time. But I was a functioning addict, and his daughter was hooked to heroin. And I found her like the Salvation Army had a rehab and stuff that was free, and got her into that. And she actually got clean. And she was clean for like 4 years. She got a job in San Diego, was working at an engineering firm, was making like 80 grand a fucking year, like doing great, had her own assistant. Clean for 4 years, ended up getting like a back injury or something like that, or tweaked her back, and somebody at work just offered her something, didn't tell her what it was. It was Vicodin. and that one pill, man, full on relapse. And she's relapsed and was living on his couch. All of a sudden, like 6 months later, he's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" I'm like, "You put her fucking ass in rehab, or you kick her out of the house because you're giving her money, you're buying her alcohol. Like you're gonna kill her, dude. She will die."
Literally.
And you don't understand, man. It's my daughter. It's my daughter. I'm like, I understand, dude. And if you love her, you will fucking let her hit bottom again. And 8 months into this relapse, she OD'd and died in a strip mall with a needle in her arm still from fentanyl. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, that could have been avoided, bro. You
Thanks.
know, that chance. Like, and that's this shitty reality.
Shit is so like, and you set off one pill. That's why I'm so scared. Like how you said, like I could have a beer and like it probably wouldn't bother me. I'm still so scared of it. Like I'm like I don't want to be one of them people that preach abstinence, but like for me, that's the only way. Like I had to get off my psych meds, I had to get off maintenance, I had to get off everything for me to finally and just sit in my own disgust and depression for me to finally, like
Yeah.
even sometimes I have dreams. Well, we're being a dream, we'll be drinking. I try my line up, take it. I sit there like, "Ooh, okay." And then I'm like, oh my God, I just relapsed. And then I wake up like terrified, like, that shit is a horrible, those are my worst dreams to this day. Cause I always, because I'm proud of my clean day.
Uh
And
huh.
it's this counselor that I had in rehab, and he always said, everything in life changes but my clean day. Things change all the time. Everything but my clean day. That don't change. And I took that in like, damn, okay, I want to be like that. Like I want my shit to be.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I don't know. Man, that shit is hard to watch like with my friends because it's like, bro, what the fuck? Because I seen Snoop Dogg say it. He said, you're trying to get here. Sometimes people is here. And the only way you can reach them is to like come down here. You got to keep going here and pray that they meet you up here. But every time you can't keep coming backwards. Like, and it's so true. And now people are like recognizing me in real life. Like, yo, you the dude from TikTok. So it's like, bro, how the fuck I can't ride with you when you sell drugs, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, damn, think about me. But they looking at me like, oh, bro, you changing. I'm not changing. I'm just like, and even if I am changing, what's the big deal? You feel me? Like, that's good change. Like, like,
You're evolving into who you want to become instead of who the drugs are making you become.
thank you. Like, like,